I remember the exact moment my world shattered. It was a rainy Tuesday evening, and I had come home early from work, only to find a pair of men's shoes by the door that weren't mine. They belonged to my best friend, Mike. Let me back up a bit and tell you how I got here. My name is Jake, and for the past 8 years I've been married to Emily. We met in college, back when life felt full of endless possibilities. She was studying art history, with this infectious laugh that could light up any room, and I was grinding through business classes, dreaming of starting my own company. We clicked right away, sharing late-night talks about our futures and building a life together. After graduation, we tied the knot in a small ceremony with just family and close friends. Mike was my best man, of course. He'd been my buddy since high school, the guy who always had my back through thick and thin. Our life together seemed pretty perfect, at least on the surface. We bought a cozy house in the suburbs, the kind with a white picket fence and a backyard big enough for barbecues. I worked as a project manager at a tech firm, pulling in decent money, while Emily taught painting classes at a local community center. Weekends were for lazy mornings in bed, coffee runs, and hanging out with friends. Mike was over all the time. He was single, always joking about how jealous he was of our setup. We'd grill steaks, watch games, and laugh until our sides hurt. Emily and Mike got along great too, trading stories and teasing me about my terrible fantasy football picks. I never once doubted them. Why would I? They were the two people I trusted most in the world. But looking back, the cracks started showing about 6 months ago. It was subtle at first, nothing that screamed trouble. Emily began staying late at the studio, saying she had extra classes or needed time to prep for an upcoming exhibit. I'd nod and say I understood, even though it meant more dinners alone in front of the TV. Then there were the phone calls. She'd step out of the room whenever her phone buzzed, her voice dropping to a whisper. "Just work stuff," she'd say with a quick smile when she came back. I tried not to overthink it. Marriage has its ups and downs, right? Maybe she was stressed. One night, though, things felt off. We were supposed to have a date night, but she canceled last minute, claiming a migraine. I offered to bring her soup or something, but she insisted I go out with Mike instead. So I did. We hit our usual bar, shot some pool, and talked about everything from work drama to his latest dating disasters. He seemed normal, maybe a little distracted, but I chalked it up to him having a rough week. When I got home, Emily was already asleep, her phone charging on the nightstand. I didn't snoop. Not then. The doubts crept in slowly. A week later, I noticed a new necklace around her neck, a delicate silver chain with a heart pendant. Where'd that come from? I asked casually over breakfast. She touched it absently and said, "Oh, just something I picked up at a flea market." But her eyes darted away, and that stuck with me. Then there was the time I overheard her laughing on the phone in the garage. "I can't wait either," she said, her tone light and flirty. When I asked who it was, she brushed it off as a student excited about a project. I started paying more attention. Little things added up. Lipstick smudges on her collar that weren't her shade, a faint scent of cologne on her clothes that smelled like Mike's. Mike, who suddenly had excuses not to hang out as much. "Busy with a new client," he'd text. My gut twisted, but I pushed it down. "Paranoia," I told myself. "You're being ridiculous." Then came the day everything unraveled. It was that rainy Tuesday I mentioned. Work let out early due to a power outage, so I headed home, thinking I'd surprise Emily with takeout from her favorite Thai place. As I pulled into the driveway, I saw Mike's car parked there. Odd but not impossible. Maybe he stopped by to borrow tools or something. I let myself in quietly, not wanting to startle her if she was napping. The house was silent except for muffled voices from upstairs. My heart pounded as I climbed the steps, each creak under my feet echoing like thunder. The bedroom door was ajar. I pushed it open and froze. There they were, Emily and Mike, tangled in our sheets, lost in each other. The takeout bag slipped from my hand, spilling noodles across the floor. "What the hell?" I managed to choke out, my voice barely above a whisper. They scrambled apart, faces pale with shock. Emily pulled the blanket up, her eyes wide. "Jake, oh God, it's not what it looks like." Mike stammered. Buddy, we didn't mean for you to find out like this. I stood there, numb, the room spinning. Betrayal hit like a freight train, crushing my chest. These were the people I loved most, and they'd been sneaking around behind my back. How long? Why? Questions flooded my mind, but all I could do was stare. Emily started crying, reaching for me. Please let me explain. Just happened. We got close, and one thing led to another. Close? I spat, anger bubbling up. He's my best friend, Em. How could you? Mike dressed quickly, avoiding my gaze. I'm sorry, man. I really am. I love her. That word, love, punched me harder than anything. It wasn't just a fling. They'd built something real right under my nose. I demanded answers, and they spilled it all. It started 4 months ago, after a night out when I was away on a business trip. A few drinks, shared secrets, and it escalated. They'd meet at motels in our house when I was gone. But the real shock came when I grabbed her phone from the nightstand, ignoring her protests. Scrolling through their messages, I found not just steamy texts and photos but plans. Plans to run away together. They'd been looking at apartments in another state, talking about starting over without me. And the kicker, Emily was pregnant. Not with my child but his. The proof was right there in a screenshot of a positive test, sent to him with heart emojis. I felt sick, the betrayal deepening into something darker. My wife carrying my best friend's baby, while pretending everything was fine at home. The confrontation turned ugly. I yelled, they begged. Mike left first, mumbling apologies. Emily packed a bag that night, tears streaming down her face. I never wanted to hurt you, she said at the door. But you did, I replied, my voice breaking. You both did. In the weeks that followed, I filed for divorce. No dramatic revenge, no public shaming. I didn't have the energy for that. Instead, I sold the house, cut ties with Mike, and moved to a new city for a fresh start. Therapy helped unpack the pain, the self-doubt. Why hadn't I seen it? Was I not enough? Looking back now, the heartbreak taught me something raw and real. Trust is fragile, and sometimes the people closest to you shatter it without a second thought. But I've rebuilt piece by piece, stronger than before. If you're listening and something feels off in your own life, don't ignore it. The truth might hurt, but living a lie hurts more.